More about the man Maui police shot and killed last night in Kahului. This is an update to a story we first brought you as breaking news. At around 7 o'clock last night, police were called to a home on Pu'ukani Street on reports of a suicidal man at the home. Police say the 29-year-old man was holding a weapon over his head, then charged at the officer who then shot the suspect. The suspect died at the hospital. The officer involved is on administrative leave, which is standard procedure. KITV4 asked Maui police whether the officers involved were wearing body cams during that incident. We're still waiting to hear back. A former Maui police chief told KITV4's Ali Duklo, officers go through extensive training to prepare for these kinds of situations.
Officers are taught how to talk to armed suspects, de-escalate the situation, and use less lethal weapons before using deadly force. They also undergo scenarios to practice how to make quick decisions in these types of incidents where they may be under attack.
Every situation is different, and there's different variables in every situation.
Judging a situation with an armed suspect, former Maui Police Department Assistant Chief Clyde Holokai says, helps officers determine how to proceed. Holokai retired in March after serving for 28 years. He spent 23 of them in defense tactics and was the lead instructor for more than 10 years. Holokai explains the higher the threat a suspect presents, the more authoritative an officer will have to behave towards them.
A lot of people, their only education comes from movies. So of course, in the movie, we see a man with a knife, they always lose. And you see the officer take a shot, one shot, down. That doesn't happen in real life.
In reality, Holokai tells me studies and trainings have shown if an officer has their gun holstered, there needs to be 21 feet between them and a knife-wielding suspect in order to protect themselves. That safety distance drops to 14 feet when the officer has their gun pointed to the suspect. But before using force, officers are taught to analyze how a suspect responds to their commands.
To be honest, majority of the encounters end with our officers deciding not to use force. If the proper tactics are used, starting with not just the verbal, but the command presence of the officer themselves, how they look, how they exit the car, how they speak to the person, things like that.
The officer involved in last night's shooting is on administrative leave. We're told that standard procedure, no other injuries were reported, and MPD is still investigating the incident. Ali Duklo, KITV4 Island News.